In August of 2015, 16-year-old Nacy Perez suddenly woke up in the middle of the night because she really needed to use the bathroom. Nacy lived in a town called La Entrada, which is located in one of the poorest and most dangerous countries in the world, Honduras. She had recently married the boy she was in love with. His name was Rudy, and the two of them were both very excited about their first child, which was due in a matter of months. So Nacy reached the back of her house, and then she made the familiar walk across her backyard toward the outhouse. But Nacy would never reach the outhouse. The next morning, Nacy's mother woke up first. Her name was Maria. She saw Nacy lying on the ground. And so Maria, she screams, she runs outside to her daughter, and Nacy is unresponsive and she's foaming at the mouth. Maria and the rest of Nacy's family, they decided to call a priest to perform an exorcism, but it wouldn't do anything. And so at that point, Maria and the rest of Nacy's family would take Nacy, who was still totally unresponsive and foaming, to the local hospital. But by that point, it was too late. Nacy was dead. When Nacy's family asked the doctors what happened to her, they said they didn't know. And so Maria and the rest of Nacy's family brought Nacy back home. They had an ad hoc memorial service, and then they buried her. The following day, Nacy's husband, Rudy, who was totally distraught because he has not only lost his wife, he's also lost his unborn child. He got up early and he just had to go to the cemetery to be with his wife. Nacy had not been buried under the earth. Instead, she had been placed into a coffin, and that coffin had been slid into this big hollowed out cement block, and then they walled up the opening. And he goes up right next to it and he leans up against it and he begins to quietly sob. But just seconds later, he would hear something that would cause him to stand up and sprint away. The day before, approximately 1 or 2 hours after Nacy's coffin was slid inside of that cement tomb, Nacy woke up. She was never dead. It's unclear what originally caused Nacy to collapse outside of her house, but whatever the case was, the doctors at the hospital got it wrong. When Nacy was brought to them, she was not dead. And so when she woke up inside of her coffin, she began shrieking and trying to pound up against the inside of these tight walls. And at some point, she shattered the glass window that sat in her coffin. And so she stayed like that, screaming and trying to fight her way out for over 24 hours. But nobody heard her until her husband, Rudy, he leaned up against her tomb, and that's when he heard the sound of his wife calling out for help. Rudy instantly ran and got help, and he and his family came back and they broke open the side of this tomb and they pulled Nacy's coffin out. And even though she was now unresponsive, she had a faint heartbeat. And so they rushed her to the hospital, but by the time she got there, she really had died. Nacy had finally just run out of oxygen, likely within minutes of her husband finally hearing her screams.